The man in the relationship should have the final say.
I'm big on, I love leadership. I
Yeah.
love, as long as a man is understanding that he is not God, but he is the man, I'm okay with him leading correctly. Eve was the rib, she wasn't his foot. So I'm not beneath you. I'm next. I'm
Beside you.
Then you submit to your man as long as he's submitting to God. I would say that the contradiction within your statements is this: you want it to be a partnership. You say that you also want, since it's a partnership, you look at it equal. If the man has the final say, and even when we look in biblical scriptures, there's a clear distinction of a hierarchy in a relationship. The man is the head. That's a hierarchy to things.
Checkmate.
The woman submits to the man as to the Lord. The same way she submits to the Lord, she submits to her man. But we got Wicked Dreams in here. He sends in $10. He says, shout out to Cooley and Ease. Let's get this party started early. Ladies, what is your duty in a relationship to society? Let's get it started early. All
I
right.
love this question because I've mastered it. I know what the answer is.
Yeah, you go last then. Let's start with Shaniqua.
Shaniqua.
I said Shaniqua.
Period.
Why do you always have to start with?
Shaniqua, what's your duty in a relationship and in society? Go ahead. Or not even like in general. What's the woman's duty?
I think that's based off of the man and the woman, ideally for that specific relationship. So for me and the man that I end up being with, I guess, naturally we'll say like, oh, we're supposed to cook and clean and take care of the kids and be supportive of our husband and blah, blah, blah. But the man that you end up being with, it's based off his needs. So I would say not to forget yourself as a woman, but so that's a hard question to say.
I'm not gonna lie, that was very confusing. She didn't really say exactly what it would be. She just kind of made two separate statements.
My duty would be, because that's based off of me.
Okay, so how about this? You don't have to speak about your personal life. You can just speak in general, right? So in general, what do you think a woman's duty in a relationship is? And what is the woman's duty in society?
So I would say a partnership. That's a big one for me. To balance my man. So simply where, there's areas that he may lack, I can pick up, and vice versa. So we would have to be able to, there's a balance. We kind of find that in a relationship.
So it's partnership, like it's equal?
It's a partnership. Yeah. Yeah, considerably. Like he's my rib. So.
Okay.
King, queen, you know how that go. So
but I feel what you're saying, but there's a different dynamic with king and queen. Like if the queen dies, the king just gets another queen.
Yeah.
But if the king dies, the kingdom is gonna be in some trouble.
Well, you got to think, because if a king dies, as you know, as woman and how the world goes around, women always figure it out, and a queen continues until another man can pick up this place. So the king can pick up. So I didn't seen it both ways. But as far as a king and queen, yes, a king can lead, but a king always has his queen's ear, even though he may, he might have the final say, but I've never seen a queen not hear his woman's point of view.
Okay. But
I think this is the modern explanation of relationships under the terms of a modern woman, because she'll explain it as if she wants a leader, somebody to lead her, but at the same time will revert back to saying, he has to still, be a partnership. We have to still, equally decide on things. Granted, should you speak to your partner about, things in your life? For sure. But at the same time, if you got an actual leader in your life, there's going to be some things that is going to be made on his terms or whatnot.
It's a good thing that you said. You said the king will have the final say. You think that like the man in the relationship should have the final say?
I'm big on, I love leadership. I love, as long as a man is understanding that he is not God, But he is the man. I'm okay with him leading correctly. You know,
God in what terms? Like, are you Christian or what do you mean?
I'm Christian.
Oh, you Christian. So you know, and
Hold on. How can you say you Christian, but you having difficulties with submitting to your man? Here's the thing about it. If it's your man, I'm pretty sure he's going to be a Christian because you're a Christian. So it would make sense you pick a Christian. But to say that you're going to have contention with saying that you don't want him to be God-like, aren't we supposed to walk in God's image? We got to listen to this. Let's continue.
I believe, I don't know the exact verse, 1 Corinthians, but it says, wives, submit to your
Oh my gosh.
husbands, like as the Lord. So pretty much like submit to your husband as the Lord.
And they always forget the scriptures where a man submits to
That
their
doesn't mean
wife.
they're the Lord.
They always.
Yeah, but it's not as it's
As.
the verse is.
As.
It doesn't say that in the
It
Bible.
doesn't say that. So what it actually says is the difference, the distinction between the two is wives submit to your husbands as to the Lord, and then it says husbands submit to your wives as Christ submits to the church.
Yeah.
So that's the distinction. It's not saying that
Men are the Lord.
man is subordinate to the woman. Not at all, because is the church subordinate to? Is Christ subordinate to the church?
Not at all.
Christ isn't subordinate to the church. The church is subordinate to Christ. But the clear distinction is that when it says that wives submit to your husbands as to the Lord, it's saying that essentially, as it is on earth, the husband is your Lord. The same way you submit to the Lord, you submit to your husband.
That's not what it's saying.
No. See, this is the problem when we have women who are religious, but they don't want to actually be religious. I mean, I know it's Halloween, the whole nine, but she has a jailbird outfit on, which is showing the tatas a little bit. You got to think about it. Are you modest? How can you say you want to walk with a Christian man if you're not modest at the same time? See, a lot of this stuff, it sounds good. It's buzzwords. Oh, I want a Christian man. I'm a Christian woman. But are you truly? But I think people want to pick and choose what they want to follow, and then they end up interpreting it the way how they interpret it, which is a problem because you have to follow it with its totality. If you really look into the Old Testament, it's about 600 and something commandments, but we only follow 10. So can you be with somebody who's really critical about it?
I'm saying that
That's
the man
exactly.
is the Lord.
It says
As you look at the
You're right.
beginning
You said the key word as.
and as you
Not
look at the beginning
To
of
your
the
husband,
Bible,
that's your Lord.
Eve was the rib, she wasn't his foot. So I'm not beneath you. I'm next I'm your
Beside
rib.
you.
So again, there's a balance. So
It's
what
a
I'm
balance.
saying is, long as you know the pyramid that you are not God, you can lead by God. And if you're leading
Man of God.
under God, then I'm understanding that my man can lead properly
Correct.
by God. You're leading correctly, so I will submit to that.
Correct.
okay.
How do you
That's well said.
hold on, but what is actually following God's following God's will? What exactly is it? Is it how do you show love? You have to follow the commandments. What if this guy is really biblically by the T? He says he does not want you to wear your tatas out. Do you listen and follow to that?
Then you submit to your man as long as he's submitting to God.
So if you break down the terms,
But
even if I
answer that
submit
real
to my
quick, because
man.
I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, you
Okay.
want a God-fearing man.
So what's the question?
And real quick, so we can have this. I know you're putting in your 2 cents, but it's like distracting the conversation. No, not you. It was to her because she's
Oh,
asking
wow.
questions and speaking. But answer that. So, are you saying that? I'm sorry. That last sentence that you said. Say it again.
I don't know what I said.
You submit to your man as long as he's submitting to God.
Yeah, that part. So
'Cause you gotta
okay.
understand that everything is with context. So for me, it's like, a man who's praying to God and he's getting his answers from God, he's going to lead correctly.
Amen.
So I can submit to a man because that man knows that as a leader, he still
Needs to be led.
pays attention to the concerns of his woman to lead properly. He understands the foundation of the household. So
Yeah.
with that being said, I can submit to that. He's leading correctly. So I can submit to that. I won't submit to nothing toxic. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to marry into nothing toxic, but I mean.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
But the sad part is that she's probably already had toxic relationships. She's already had the experience. But I understand you shouldn't want to commit to something that's toxic. But the fact that you say you want a Christian man, why are you possibly single?
That's more.
No,
of a
I would
question for
say
somebody
that
who is married, because
I
no,
would
I'm not married.
I would say that the contradiction within your statements is this. So you said that you want it to be a partnership. You say that you also want the relationship between men and women. Since it's a partnership, you look at it equal. But then you also say that the man has the final say. That's why I asked you twice. Well, are you sure the man should have the final say? If the man has the final say, and even when we look in biblical scriptures, there's a clear distinction of a hierarchy in a relationship, meaning that the man is the head. That's a hierarchy to things.
Checkmate.
The woman submits to the man as to the Lord. The same way she submits to the Lord, she submits to her man.
Checkmate.
That's okay. So look at that. So therefore, if the woman is submitting to the man just like she's submitting to God, there isn't any equalness, right? Because the distinction between it doesn't say for the man to submit to the wife like he submits to the Lord. No, it says for the man, submit to your wife as Christ submits to the church.
Checkmate.
Right? Now, is Christ subordinate to the church? Christ isn't subordinate to the church. So the man isn't subordinate to the woman.
No.
But the church is subordinate to Christ, which means that the wife should be subordinate to the man. That's the clear distinction. A relationship between men and women aren't equal. You ladies don't want it to be equal. You all want a man that's taller, stronger, preferably makes more money, if not the same. You want a man that's doing better than you. If you met a man that was your height, made your same amount of income, had your same type of jokes, you'll be like, oh, yeah, nigga, you kind of just like me, you're a girl.
Yeah.
So you don't want no dude that's on your level. You want a dude that's doing better than you, which means it creates that hierarchy. You're looking for a superior, basically. You're looking for a leader. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's supposed to be a leader.
Okay, fair enough.
I ain't gonna lie. He cooked the whole situation in admirable fashion. It wasn't no back and forth, no crazy discourse. I will say this. I wish he would have made her look a little bit more contradictory to what she said, because she made contradictions. It's kind of hard when you sit right here and say that you want a Christian man and you start throwing out scriptures and you start saying you don't want a man that like he's God or whatnot. See, I think you saying God and being toxic are two different things or whatnot. But you know what's sad? The things that they call toxic is just basic masculinity from a man. Him maybe dictating the clothes you wear. I wish we could bring that up. Oh, he doesn't want me to wear this. That's a problem. He's toxic. No, he's being the Christian man that you want him to be. You want him to have some control over what you're wearing. That will be the right thing to do. But now we mix and match what we want and what we don't want. And then that's why I give so many Christians or religious folks, I give a lot of pushback. Y'all know how I am when I react to things involving religion. I just like calling out the contradictions, because a lot of contradictions, and I hate to say this, a lot of chicks will use religion to make themselves feel better, or the situation that they're in, they use it, they say it. They don't really mean a lot of the things they say. The actions show otherwise. So her saying that, I think it just reinforces what a lot of people already feel. You know, they want the equality when it's right, and then they want the leadership when it's right. It's gonna be a pick and choose battle. They really want something that looks a certain way but acts another way. And I'm pretty sure everybody outside in their own day-to-day lives, they've seen it in their own relationships. A lot of these people don't really stand and actually stick on the morals and values that they say they do when it boils down to it. Because the jailbird uniform, she wouldn't even have that on if she had a Christian dude, because he probably would already have contention on it. You going on a podcast talking to these two guys up here. Somebody else would probably have a problem with that. Unless you coming up there to spit some advice to the other ladies. But no. But Shaniqua got dealt with, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about the clip with Shaniqua. And when I heard the name Shaniqua, I was like, damn, they gonna eat that up just because of the name. Y'all know how that go out there in social media with the name Shaniqua. But I want to get y'all thoughts on this, man. Shout out to Cooley, No Fugazi podcast. Shout out to his partner, man. They both be killing it. I'm not gonna lie. I know No Fugazi had his own hiccup out there, but at the same time, the brother is consistent. He stays and stands on what he says. And yeah, he definitely stood on that message right there. Actually quoting scriptures and whatnot. It was definitely profound. I'll make sure I have his channel link in the description. Make sure y'all like this video, comment below. This is JayBReacts. Until next time, y'all. Peace.